What's up, Chad? Good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is in your area. Oh no, my special area. What is up? What is up? What is up? A bit of a strange set of, like, like, you ever, like, whenever you start something new, or not new, but, like, you start fully dedicating yourself to something and it becomes more and more part of your, like, normal life? I'm starting to have, like, dreams that I feel like are starting to become influenced by my drawing endeavor. Like, I'm seeing, like, colors differently in the dream. Like, things are happening and sequencing in different ways. I think that's a sign that, like, things are kind of moving over from just, like, dabbling into, like, an actual long-term endeavor. Like, my brain is making those connections between my brain and my hands and drawing. I think that's, like, actually, like, a really important thing. My dreams get a little bit wild, though. Like, they're like full. I mean, I've always kind of been a vivid dreamer. They have, like, full storylines, and I revisit them too. Like, I have dreams where, like, years later I'll show up and it'll be like the sequel with, like, a recap and then the sequel. Like, it's just crazy. Like, I remember those faces. I think, like, the human mind does a lot of interesting things. Like, basically compartmentalizes your thoughts and your ideas. And when you dream, your brain is basically just sorting through everything and trying to process everything in a different way. And I've always been, like, a heavy processor. Maybe it's autism, maybe it's just, a combination of things, but I've always had, like, deep meaning attached to my dreams. It's been, like, a big deal. Like, I'll revisit the same dreams, and, like, something new will happen. And it's like, usually when something is starting to, like, solidify itself in my personal life, or with a skill, or any number of things. But yeah, what's up? I got my coffee. We're gonna be doing some more drawing. Don't worry, World of Warcraft isn't going anywhere. Don't get your panties in a bunch, chat. But, I know that, like, I'm trying to, like, settle in long term to this expansion. There was a lot of time in between me playing initially in Nightslayer on the Anniversary Realm when it was first released. I played for, like, I think, like, 2 months. Like, I got to level 43 on my warrior. Hey, Jordan. My only match on Tinder blocked me because I'm a loser. Well, that sounds like they're a loser. Jesus Christ. You deserve better, Jordan. You deserve better than that. No, there's somebody out there for you. You just gotta, stop treating it like going fishing. I think a lot of people treat dating like it's fishing. In a way, obviously, that's kind of true because you're just matching with people and hopefully you might meet the right person. But I feel like you should maybe treat it just like, hey, this is a person. I have no idea who this person is. Let's see if I like them. Like, it sounds like this person wasn't a match for you. So it's like, you gotta find somebody who's, like, not gonna judge you like that. You've been single for 5 years? Welcome to the club. I've been single forever. I mean, I've had partners, but I've been, like, single. And that's by choice, honestly. Like, hey, this world is messed up. And it's hard to find somebody who's gonna be with you throughout all of it. It's something really special, which is why when people get married and such, that makes it even more special because you know that it's rare, right? So it's like, that's how rare it is. It's almost impossible to find somebody who is, like, your match. And if you expect to find it on Tinder, like, you gotta change the way you think about it. Like, it's not, you're most likely not going to meet somebody. You should not treat it as like, oh, this is where I meet people and then my life will be better. Like, no, you should treat your own life as your own. You have your own agency over your own life. And maybe you'll meet somebody that kind of matches. But most likely you're just going to meet people who are looking for one night stands, which is fine. You know, nothing wrong with a one night stand. I mean, I'm all about the one night stands. Just sucks because you don't know how to say the magic word. You see, if you have to say something magic for them to like you, this whole idea of I need to say the magic words, that person never would have been with you in the first place. If she thinks that you need to say something, if you think that you need to say something special, you're already looking in the wrong places. Like, people who are the right fit aren't going to like trick you. They're not going to like test you. You know, like that's toxic. They aren't going to like make things up and see how you react. I know a lot of people are, a lot of guys who are lonely, they're used to settling for women like that. But that's because those women are very insecure. They need constant validation. These women, these types of women, are very similar to how, you know, we talk about, like, everyone talks about like toxic male behaviors. There are toxic female behaviors, and it's just not seen the same way. Because it is different. It's not the same as, like, you know, toxic men. Like, there are some that are, you know, some of it overlaps, like, you know, just violence and manipulative behavior. But the very specifics in a lot of the cases, when it's like not necessarily like abusive behavior, but like just toxic behavior, there are certain behaviors that some women have where it's like they'll make something up to see how you respond to it. And I think a lot of guys think that's normal, because that's like, oh, every girlfriend I've had was like that. It's like, it's because you settled. Like, well, you know, people aren't necessarily looking for a millionaire CEO, Jordan. If those are if that's the requirement for somebody, that's already a red flag, right? She doesn't care about you. She cares about your bank account. That's a red flag right there. That's like big red flag. All right. Looks like we already had a pencil lined up. Yeah, let's get our thing started. That's just reality these days. Well, no, you stop defining your self-worth based on, here, let's do this. Self-worth. Stop defining your self-worth on whether or not you meet somebody's arbitrary standards. You should love yourself. If you love yourself, there's going to be other people who love you the way you do. And if you don't see yourself as valuable, you're only going to attract people who also don't see you as valuable. Talking about nonsense that'll never change, that's not really true. I mean, you got to have more self-worth. Like, you're thinking about the wrong variables. I think that a lot of it is like, people put so much value on whether or not somebody is like attracted to them. And when they say that, what they mean is they think that the only person that is attracted to them requires them to have a high bank account, or requires them to have like an absolute like Olympian body, or anything like that. Like, if somebody is already judging you that way, that's a red flag. Like, you should find somebody who sees you for who you are, who doesn't hold you up to a high standard that is like, it's not about lowering your standards. I hate this idea of, oh, you need to lower your standards to get a man, or you need to lower your standards with men or with women. It's like, that's assuming that these people that you're attracting are somehow low value. Like, no, they're not low value. They don't hold the same things as important. Like, is it really that important that you have a nice fancy sports car? Like, is that really important? Is that going to put food on the table? I mean, maybe if you're like a professional car dealer or something like that, like, or you're like, you do car shows. Like, I mean, that might make sense if you have, I mean, if you had like a broken down car and you're trying to become like a whatever you call it, a car sexual. Like if you have like some beat up car that's like poo 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 poo. Like if you have a car that's like that and you're trying to do like car shows with like retro cars that are like refitted, and like if that's what you're trying to deal with, and you have some, you know, a clunker car, then obviously that's like a bad match. That's just stupid. You're in the wrong career path. Like, you're just gonna fail. Like, it's not what it's for. But you know, you don't need some fancy sports car. You don't need to be going out to like $300 dinners. Like what the fuck is this bullshit? Oh, my man makes a lot of money and that makes him high value. Well, then what about shitty men who make a ton of money, who like are abusive, or even like, you know, like in violent ways, like, or do bad things like criminal activity? Like, what does having money have to do with that? Like, if money was the bare minimum for your value as a human being, then all these bad people would have value when they actually don't. Like, nobody wants an abuser. And I know people are like, oh, but you know, the women are always after the abusers. It's like, that's because they're also after the wrong things. They're after validation. You need to see what these things for what they are. And once you do, you can never really go back. You're a clunker that no one wants to look at. Don't talk about yourself like that, Jordan. Don't do it. Don't talk about yourself that way. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, I have value. Right now. I'll wait. Go right to the mirror right now. Look at yourself in the eyes and say, I have value. You don't need to justify it. You don't need to say why you have value. You do have value. You have inherent value. And you don't need to prove it. And then ironically, you start to prove it more often. Ironically. It's like kind of paradoxical. Like, the less you focus on trying to be a good person, the more you end up being a good person, just because you're not focused on the wrong things. A lot of people are focused on appearances. They're focused on, oh, if I donate to this cause, people are going to think that I'm a, you know, that I'm a good person. That doesn't make you a good person. You did a good thing, but a good thing does not a good person make. But also a bad thing does not, you know, does not a bad person make either. So it's like a double-edged sword, you know. I don't know. I don't like hearing people talk shit about themselves. There's already enough people talking shit about each other. To do it ourselves is like we're doubling down on the unnecessary pain. Like, there's already enough people who don't think much of you. You know, I don't want you to be another one of them. People want drama and surprises. No, you'd be surprised, you know, pun not intended. You'd be surprised how many people want consistency, how many people want reliability, how many people want somebody who's not going to freak them out, someone who's going to have a steady life. They may not be the most rich person on the planet. They may not be like even the most quote unquote attractive person, like man on the planet or woman on the planet. But you know what? Like, they're the right person for that person. You make them feel safe. You care about them. You genuinely listen. Trust me, you might feel lonely, but that's because you're filtering. You're filtering out all the people that are not going to take you with the that are not going to treat you with the respect that you deserve. You're just a meat bag. I mean, we're all literally just meat bags serving our role. If you really think about it, if we define ourselves by that, well, then everybody's that. And if everybody's a meat bag, then none of us are meat bags. You can't fulfill what I can't accomplish. No, you can accomplish way more things. I think that's just your standard. You're setting your standard for love in a place that is not healthy. You're setting your standard for love into a place where you need to meet these specific types of women's standards, which their standards are dog shit. They require you to have like a 8-pack abs, $300,000 a year salary minimum, to buy them things constantly. Like that just sounds like a spoiled brat. Why would you want that as your girlfriend? Like, that's just like, you may as well just get some sandpaper and start scraping your face right now. Like, come on. No Bulbasaur? Oh yeah, we needed to drop Bulbasaur! Thanks for holding me accountable, Serby. No, you matter, Jordan. Yeah, let's try to get Bulbasaur in here. I need to get a reference. Yeah, I got one. Let me load it up for the stream too. Okay, we're gonna draw Bulbasaur. Ah. Okay, yeah, we're gonna draw Bulbasaur here. Okay. Hey, what's up, caffeine? We got our caffeine right here. We're jamming. Good to catch a stream again. Well, glad you're here. Does his bulb make you sore? True. All right, so we gotta separate this. So basically, we got like kind of a kind of wedge here. Then we got another wedge right here. Some what do you call them? Capsules. Some capsules. Like a tiny foot over here, and then another capsule in the foreground here. And then we got like kind of a cone. There. And that's pretty much Bulbasaur. And the eyes. And eyes looking to his left over there. Doesn't have a nose, or he does. He's got little slits for noses, because he's kind of like a dinosaur. Got a really wide mouth, like insanely wide mouth. Got some like little spots here. And like a big spot right here. Let's see. Kind of the ears right there. Little teeth at the edge here. And then kind of just like there's the mouth. Oh, I kind of drew the cylinders wrong. Yeah, no, I got the whole body wrong. Yeah, let's start over here. Yeah, rough draft. So basically, it's kind of like a... It's actually two separate things here. There's like a wedge for his head. And then there's like a... And there's like a cone. So it's basically like a cone. Then there's a kind of a capsule here for his front right foot. And then from his head, kind of another kind of ellipse. And then a cone. Yeah. Yeah, so like this bottom capsule here, his leg, his back, his hind left leg, kind of right there where a tail would, you would think a tail would be. I don't think he has a tail, does he? We can't see it in this angle if he does. Start on top of the head and do the edges first. So basically, you got little cones right here, and then you got a cone right here that goes into, like, there's like a jaw. His cheeks right there. So from the ears, yeah, there we go. And then there's like the yeah, so basically got the kind of like bridge leading into a shallow nose. Slits, and then very wide mouth. Little teeny little fang type teeth, or I guess like one of those molars. And then there's the jaw. Then this goes actually into this capsule here for the front left leg. There's the hind leg here. I went at a bit too much of an angle for the body. It's a little too far. I made the body a bit too long. Yeah, because this is like more, it should be like over here. Looks more like a Charmander. Yeah, let's just try to get the, there's like kind of like an ice cream cone body, like kind of thing like that. It's like a little potato. You got a potato with the body, but then the head goes into the potato, and then you got a cone. And then we got to get the legs right. Yeah, and like the head kind of splits apart with like the ear right there. And then it's kind of like separate little like leaf things that converge. Shading here. The light source is coming that way. Like to see how this turns out. Yes, simple shapes like circles and cylinders. That's what we've been doing. Like, I've been saying, oh, it's a potato. Oh, it's a cylinder. It's a sphere. It's a capsule. That's literally what we've been doing. Buster EpiPen? What? Saw one of my YouTube shorts earlier today talking about growing through mental health and having the support you need now. Oh, well, thank you so much, Caffeine Jam. Yeah, I talk about stuff like that a lot. Trying to get more shorts out, even though my internal content screen is saying that it's not content. I need to get over it and just release it anyway, because I talk about this stuff a lot. And just because I think it's not content doesn't mean it's not content. I have like a really high standard. I keep thinking I'm not good enough, that I'm not actually making content, that I'm just, oh, this isn't the good content yet. This isn't the good content. It's like, no, that could be content. People love that kind of stuff. It inspires people, helps people through some dark times. So maybe I could use these as kind of like a guide, these little liver spot things. These little markings. That's like the center of his face. And then you have like right here, and like there's like the bridge leading to the nose. And then, yeah, I guess this is probably closer here, right? And then this is like, it needs to be on the same plane here. Let's use the eraser. This needs to be on the same plane here, so yeah, I made the face a bit too wide here. Like that's the problem with this one. Face is a little bit too wide. Yeah, so try to slide. Yeah, I need to see the differences in the size, like all that kind of stuff. Yeah, because, like, let's start with the cone. Like, let's use that as the baseline. Because it's about the same size as his body. Like, if I treat the cone as, like, it's the same size as his body... Just honestly, like, the same size as his head. Like, he's pretty much everything... Every part of his body is the same exact size. His head is the same size as his body, is the same size as his cone. You have a Discord? No, we don't do that. It turned really bad very quickly within the first year, and I just booted everybody. I couldn't even delete the server because I didn't even have the special keys you need. You need like a special code in order to delete your server, and I lost it. I kept it up for like a year, and then I just booted everybody, and now it's just I'm the only member of the server. So if I get banned, I must be doing something wrong. Because I'm the only one in the server. That's pretty much how it has to be. Yeah, they're basically the three same size shapes. That's kind of interesting. He's got like a really weird body. But it's okay, no shame here, no body shaming. We're not going to shame our buddy Bulbasaur. No, we're not doing it. I'm sorry, no Discord. It's too toxic. It's too hard to moderate. It's like a full-time job. I don't want to be moderating my chat like off stream. Like it's already hard enough moderating my chat while I'm streaming. You're telling me I have to also moderate my chat off stream? Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not doing that. Yeah, like I don't want people who are doing like illegal shit going into my Discord, right? Like, it's too hard to moderate. I don't want to be responsible for that kind of pressure. I'm not an FBI, you know? Chungusaur, exactly. Yeah, people are vile. People were, like, I'm just gonna, like, give a little bit preview of what led me to deleting it. People were posting, like, diarrhea videos of, like, poop going, like... I disabled the ability to like show GIFs and stuff like that, but people were posting like Nazi shit, like swastikas, like poop, and I'm like, I don't want to find out what other vile things people are gonna post. I'm just gonna delete it, because people were posting vile shit, and that's like, I don't want to see where that goes, right? It was just a big red flag. I don't want to run a Discord. My hat's off to all the moderators out there who run Discords that have to deal with absolute vile human beings on a daily basis. But that's not me. If I ever did have a Discord, it would have to be run by somebody else. Because I'm not going to run it. Yeah, so like I don't feel like there's any benefit to having a Discord. To be completely honest, I don't really think there's any reason why people need to even be on Discord. Besides like, you know, meeting up for gaming with like your guild or your friends. Like that's like the one use where I think Discord should really stay. There's public Discords for people who want to join, like, you know, like we could join, like I could join like an art community, for example. You know, like, or join the art communities within other people's Discords and like not really try to be the center of attention, just kind of be part of the group. Now that's fine. Especially when it's like an established Discord, but I don't need to add my own Discord. I can join established Discords that are already very moderated, and I don't have to deal with any of that because I'm not even running it. Somebody else is running it. So it's like, I don't have to worry about that anxiety of constantly worrying with somebody's going to like be like doing something illegal or something like that. Like, I don't want to have to deal with that. Like, you know, what if I found out somebody in my Discord was like doing like weird things with other users, like trying to meet them in person, and they're like, it's like, there's, everyone knows the Discord horror stories out there. I don't need to rehash it. I'm already a leader by having my stream. This is where we hang out. Like, we don't need to have a Discord because you are literally in the most interactive version of me that you can possibly have. Why would you also want to talk to me on Discord? Just show up to my streams. Like, you're already interacting with me. This is the most you're gonna get from me. So it's like, why would you want any? Like, I just don't get it. Like, this is the most interactive place you will ever be able to find me. Like, being a target of vitriol. Exactly. So I already get enough shit on my YouTube comments. Imagine people raiding my Discord to then post vile, transphobic, racist, like Nazi shit. Like, why would I want more of that? I already get enough of that on my comment section. Okay, and I don't delete them, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but it kind of like might, you know, ignite people's, it might encourage people, but I don't delete people's comments, because whether they know it or not, those comments are giving engagement to my videos, which means people who aren't going to be like that are more likely to find my videos. So even though those losers are going to keep commenting on my YouTube channel, eventually we're going to find some people who are not like that. Most people who comment on videos like that, the reason why you see them more than others is because they're online more. Regular people don't really comment on YouTube videos in general. But you know what'll happen, what I think, is like we'll start to get more positivity in the comments. And because especially like it'll just drown out all the negativity eventually. There's never going to stop being negativity on the internet. I stopped. It's almost like deleting people's comments is almost validating their comment, because then it's like, oh well, now I looked at it and I made a judgment based on it, which means I'm engaging with it instead of just ignoring it. Just be like, okay, whatever, it's a loser, moving on. And so like that's kind of how I approach it. The light's coming up from over here. Hey, what's up, Master of Light? Welcome back. It's been quite a while. Hello. You stream off your Xbox and don't use a camera? No one likes content, but I stream. Yeah, for like, if you're streaming for 8 hours every day, maybe that's why you're not getting a girlfriend, Jordan. I like. It doesn't make you a loser, it's just you made a choice. So it's like, maybe stop playing video games for 8 hours a day. If your goal is to meet people on Tinder, then maybe you should spend more time with your girlfriend than spending time with your Xbox. Like, and if you're not willing to do that, then that's fine. I don't have a problem with that at all. I'm a degenerate gamer. Like, more power to you, you know? More people need to love themselves. But if you don't love who you are, then that's something you gotta change. Like, if you hate it, then make a change. Like, that's all there is to it. If you love it, then I'm all for that. You know, fuck them. You know, if you need to change who you are to get a girlfriend or get a boyfriend, like, fuck them. Like, maybe literally, like, you know, one night stand, whatever. But like, they don't deserve you. If, like, you know, you don't need to change for anybody except for yourself. Like, if you want to change, that's one thing. If, like, there's something wrong and you want it to change, that's, like, different. But if, like, you think you need to change for someone else, fuck them. There's somebody out there who doesn't want you to change. And you might not find that person because they're also probably playing on their Xbox for 8 hours a day. But they're out there. Maybe just stop looking. And if you are looking for somebody, then you have to probably make some changes. Because even somebody who games for 8 hours a day, they're gonna feel like a little bit ignored if you would rather spend time on your Xbox than, you know, spending time with them. It's not like personal. It kind of is, but it kind of isn't, because it's like you're like made a promise to each other, kind of, that you're gonna be like dating, and if you would rather spend all your free time with your Xbox, then that's your real girlfriend. Like, I don't think it's fair to get like jealous or have a problem with it. Like, like, but don't be surprised when she leaves. Like, if you spend all your time with your Xbox, like, people always say, oh, he's always talking about her ex. Well, he's always talking about his Xbox. So it's like the same thing, right? You just don't talk about your ex, but you're talking about your Xbox. Like, this one's a little closer to how he actually looks. Got like a little mustache kind of nose. Like a little mustache. My man Bulbasaur got a little mustache. I gave him a little bit of a, like a gorilla back. He doesn't have a gorilla back. He has like a smooth, right into his butt. Yeah, I gave him like a Harambe back on accident. Our man Bulbasaur is not a Harambe. Yeah, he's got... You're ugly, bro. Can't change your face. Yeah, you can. What are you talking about? Your surgeries. Plus, I think a lot of it is like, I think people think they're ugly, but really what they are is they're malnutritioned. Like, they're not eating right. They're not exercising. Their face doesn't have color because they don't go outside. You need to get a certain amount of vitamin D, and you need like 15 minutes of sunlight a day to synthesize that. You need to eat healthy or your skin gets all gross. You need to eat like green vegetables like broccoli or kale or spinach for your skin. You got to eat healthy fats. You got to not eat super processed food. You got to exercise so your skin can breathe. You got to breathe through your nose and not through your mouth. Like, there's all sorts of things you can do about your appearance without even getting a surgery. But you could also get a surgery. Like, have that bare minimum first and then get a surgery. Don't do it the other way around, because if you're not healthy, like, your surgery is not really gonna, like, you're basically trying to min-max. You're not trying to, like, replace something. And honestly, if you don't want to change your face, if you're not willing to do all those things, then you really don't care. And people pick up on that. When you don't care about your appearance, it's fine that you don't care about your appearance. Like, I generally, like, I don't usually wear makeup. I kind of just walk around in my pajamas. Like, I wear a bra because I'm on stream or I'm out in public. Processed food is bad because it's I don't even need to go over this. It's pretty well documented. Like, you need to eat healthy foods. It's just your body overworks itself trying to process it, and it's not giving you the nutrients you need. There's a lot of research on it. I don't need to educate you on this. You can't afford surgery, you have no insurance or money. Well, see, there's things that you can do that don't require surgery. Like, you can eat healthy. You can stop playing video games for 8 hours a day. If you're not willing to do those things, then don't cry about it. That's basically like, you're making excuses, buddy. Trust me, I'm somebody who made those same excuses. I've been there. But if you're not willing to make these changes, if you're not willing to fight that hard, then why would you expect somebody else to accept you for who you are? if you can't even accept you for who you are? Why would somebody else want somebody who doesn't care about their appearance, who doesn't care about changing anything for what they want? That's a red flag. So don't be surprised when nobody wants to date you on Tinder. Why would you want to be with somebody who doesn't even care about themselves? Does that mean you're also not going to care about her? Like that's like, nobody wants to be with like someone like that. You're crying by expressing yourself? No, what I'm saying is that it's good that you know what you want, but now that you know what you want, it's good to say these things. I'm not saying it's bad to like express these things. I'm saying if you know what you need to change, then why aren't you making those changes? That's basically what I'm saying. And I've been there before, and I know it's not easy. But if you're here in my chat and you're saying these things, it's because you want something to change. Otherwise, you wouldn't be saying them. You would just be not giving a fuck, right? You wouldn't even be talking about this if it didn't matter to you. These things clearly matter to you. And I'm just trying to give you some of my advice on what I did to change my life. Basically, you have to ask yourself, what do you really want? Do you want to play Xbox for 8 hours a day? That's fine if you do, but also accept that you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, if you want people to be attracted to you, like if you're tired of women not like turning you down on Tinder, then maybe you got to make some changes. But you can't have both. Like, don't expect people to accept you for who you are when you can't even accept you for who you are. Like, why would somebody else go out of their way to do the work for you? You're like, oh, I just want a wife to do the dishes and take care of me. Like, okay, well, what you want is a mom, not a wife. That's weird. But you know, there might even be somebody out there who wants to fill that role. But honestly, like, you're probably going to be better off just taking care of yourself. You should love yourself. I don't like the idea of requiring somebody else to feel good about yourself. I don't need a man. I don't need a woman. I just need me. And if I can't love myself, then why would I expect anyone else to love me? Like, it's just, to me, it's just pretty obvious. No, what I'm saying is that if you are unhappy with it, then it's not about other people's needs and wants. You say, so conform to other people's wants and needs as having the change I need. No, what I'm saying is if you don't like who you are, then it doesn't matter what other people think. If somebody accepted you for who you are right now without any changes, would you still want to make changes? If the answer is no, then you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you. But if you think that, like, oh, nobody wants me because of this, and I'm like, well, what if you found somebody who wanted you even with that? Would you still be okay with it? Would you still be okay if there was a woman out there you're looking for? I'm assuming you're looking for a girlfriend. And I mean, you could be looking for a boyfriend. I'm not sure. If you were looking for a girlfriend or a wife, you know, which is kind of weird that people look for a spouse instead of looking for a friend, and then seeing if you work together as a partner, and then maybe discussing whether or not you want to be spouse. But whatever. If you're looking for a partner, if you found a match right now who didn't ask you to change anything about who you are, would you still be happy with who you are? That's what the question you should be asking yourself. If you are happy with who you are right now, don't change a goddamn thing. But what you're saying in the chat right here is it sounds like you're unhappy with yourself. Because you're like, nobody likes me because I'm ugly, because I'm a loser, because I play video games for 8 hours a day. Well, it sounds like you don't like that. And I think when other people... I think it's so much easier to externalize it, because when you see somebody refusing to be with you because of those things, it's hyper-personalized, and you see it better. But I think the core thing that's happening is it's not that other people don't accept you, it's that you don't accept you. But if you would be fine if somebody just, you know, was, I mean, because there has to be somebody out there who's going to accept you for exactly who you are. And if that's what you're fine with, then that's fine. You don't need to change a goddamn thing. I'm not going to ask you to change. Why would I? I want you to be who you want to be, but it sounds like you're not happy with it. You're awesome, but no one thinks you are besides me. Fuck them. Just like fuck them, right? They don't accept you for who you are. Fuck them. They're not a part of your life. They don't deserve you. Find the people who do care about you. Like, find the people who don't want you to change. Because if you're happy with who you are, why would you need to change anything? You've already done the changes. Or you've done none of the changes. Whatever. You have social anxiety. There's a thing called exposure therapy. I'm autistic and I have severe like social anxiety. Especially because I have past trauma. I have PTSD and agoraphobia relating to many negative experiences with social interaction throughout my life. And I think a lot of it is just exposure therapy. Like, just do a little bit. Like, just go to like a place where you're not expected to do anything. Like, go to the library or something, right? Where you're not expected to interact with somebody, and just be there for like 5 minutes and then leave and go home and get into your pajamas or do whatever you need to do to self-care. Okay, it looks like this kind of goes like straight, and then this one bumps up against this other one at an angle, and it kind of converges at this kind of angle here. And this other one is just kind of tucked in. And then this other one kind of goes straight. And then this one goes, this is the head. And then this one goes like kind of down here. And then I think like understanding the two parts of the face. Bulbasaur has two parts to his face. Basically, he's got a top part, which is where the ear goes and it attaches down there. This goes over here, and then there's an other ear, and then it kind of goes down here, but then there's like a kind of like a wedge part of his face. And also like that's, his mouth is extremely wide and basically takes up like that part of the face. And the nose is kind of like more over here. It's got a little mustache nose. And then from the front where the edge of the mouth is, there that's where the eye begins on this side of the face. And then you go along here, because if I make a kind of a guideline here for his face, you have this on the far right of the side. It seems like this is the closest I've gotten so far with his actual head. Like, so far, like I haven't really gotten his head right, and now I'm starting to get his head with the right proportions. It's not right. It's not really there, but this is the closest I've been. And then this kind of goes actually all the way from the middle of his head for that part of the bulb. And then this goes like from his ear. And then this goes like kind of more here. Almost looks like a slowpoke or something. I mean, all the Pokemon kind of look the same. Make a square and try keeping it inside it. Yeah, Jordan, if you love who you are, don't change a goddamn thing. You will, and if you want to find somebody to be with, you're gonna have to. Relationships involve compromise. Think about it like a video game. if you're playing a video game and you're doing quests or something, and then you find a quest where it's like you have to choose between either getting a certain item or getting an other item. If you really want that other item, but then you have to, like, you know, sacrifice a quest line, you have to choose which quest line to do. If you're trying to build a relationship with somebody, you're going to have to just understand that it's not just about you anymore. And so it's not about changing. It's about understanding that relationships are compromised. Having friends is compromised. I feel like people separate friendship and romance for some goddamn reason. Like, friendship is the same way. You already understand how to connect with people, probably. Like, do you go to, like, if you're a gamer, for example, do you join a Discord and be like, hey, is anyone gonna be my friend? Is anyone gonna be my friend? I want a friend. I want a friend. It's like, no, you're going on Tinder and you're like, is anybody gonna be my girlfriend? I need a girlfriend. Is anybody gonna be my girlfriend? Like, nobody, that's not what you do for, like, making friends. You're just like, hey, I play Red Dead Redemption. I'm trying to meet people who also like Red Dead Redemption. And you just kind of chat about it. And then, like, you find the people that are kind of connecting with you. And then, like, you don't really have to try. You just meet the right people that have your same vibes. So why would you treat dating any other way? Like, it's the same exact thing. It's just, except there might be, like, you know, sex involved or something. Like, maybe. I mean, in a perfect world. Hey, Blue Hitbox. Yeah, somebody asked me to draw Bulbasaur, so we're trying to draw Bulbasaur. I'm getting the proportions pretty wrong a lot of the time, but that's why we're doing it. I'm mostly just focusing on trying to do it to completion and then repeating it and trying to just, you know, focus it. We're doing a different kind of exercise than what I usually do. Usually I just start drawing, but today I'm like, hey, let's spend some time doing gesture from a reference. Yeah, I don't know. I can't speak for Jordan. I wish him the best. But there's some hard-won truths I've learned. Some hard truths about reality. And it's like, you wouldn't want it to be different. Why would you want to be with somebody that you don't want to be with? And so if somebody doesn't want to be with you, it just means that person doesn't want to be with you. It's not like a character flaw. But if enough people are having a problem with who you are, then maybe you have to, you know, think about, like, maybe I need to make a change. If you don't want to make a change, you don't have to. Nobody's going to force you. And if you found somebody that accepted you exactly who you are today without changing a thing, and you're okay with that, then I don't see a problem. And Jordan claims to not have a problem with that. And so it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like he's fighting a battle, but, you know, whatever. I'm not his therapist, so it's whatever. I keep giving him a gorilla back on accident. He doesn't have a gorilla back. It's like really sloped. Like it's like a steep angle, like way steeper. Oh God. Now I'm making him like anorexic. It's like way steeper than I'm drawing it. You know, I did this as a kid when Pokemon Red and Blue first came out. I remember my brother was playing the cartridge while I was just reading the instruction manual because we only had one copy of the game at the time. and I couldn't play the game, and so because he was playing it, and so I would just read the manual. And I remember trying to draw the different Pokemon. Like I remember trying to draw Charmander. That's actually really where I really started wanting to be able to draw. So it's like we're picking up right where we left off when I was like 9 years old. That's pretty much where we are right now. This is honestly like exactly where I picked off, where I left off. My first introduction to wanting to draw was because of Pokemon. Very cutesy cat. It's not a cat, it's Bulbasaur. I guess he's a cat. I mean, let's be real. Bulbasaur is basically a cat. Prove me wrong. Spider-Man and Batman? Well, one thing at a time. You love my drawing? It's better than I could do. I mean, this is better than I could do, too. Look at the last couple of attempts. Like, this was the previous one. And like this is the one before that. And like this is the one before that. And then we tried doing one in the corner over here. Like, so it's like I'm already better than I was today. And I just did a couple different attempts, and we're gonna keep doing this until it gets perfect. It's a cute green cat. Exactly. So let's try to do like a couple of different ones. Let's like make a little box. Do some thumbnails. Let's try to make 4 different versions on one page to try to get the proportions right. Trying to do one big one is a little hard because it's harder to get the proportions. So we're just going to make 4 different boxes, and we're going to draw him in each box. And I'm going to see the whole thing as a box. Like here, let's start with the ears. Actually, I think the ears, like with that ear and then that ear, and then there's half of the face, and then right there, and then from that ear, and then the cone. So basically it goes from halfway between his head. This one goes like from his ear a little bit on the left of it. This one goes from there. This one goes from there. And then eyes, basically he's got this big wide mouth. The middle of his face, and it kind of goes straight like down like this. Little nose. And then from that kind of right side of his face, or left, I guess, stage right, or no, stage left, and then stage right. His eye is closer to the camera, so it's like bigger. And he's got his little like nose bridge thing, and then He's basically a cat. He's got a little octagon thing. Little trapezoids. And I mean, honestly, that's about it for that thumbnail right there, that gesture. Just trying to get the form. Light source with the shadow. Shade in those spots. They're darker than the rest of his body. Shade in his eyes. And his tongue and mouth. It was kind of like in his underbelly. Shading. It's like the middle of his body's kind of shaded. Yeah, and there's another one. The improvement. Yeah, Zapper Zipper. Zapper Zyper. You always thought he's a frog? I feel like he's a dinosaur. Because his name is Bulbasaur. He's like a turtle, really. Zenigame? He's like a dinosaur turtle thing. Like instead of a shell, he's got a bulb. He's like a flower. He's a flower creature. He's like a flower lizard thing. I don't know if it's actually part of his body or if it's growing on him. Like, does he have control? He does have control over it. He can vine whip. So it's like part of his body. I don't know. Are we analyzing this way too? I don't think it's that deep. I think he's just a grass type Pokemon. I don't think it's that deep, bro. Let's like analyze the shit out of it. Let me move. I need to move the image needs to move a little bit. Oop. Because I think it was cut off there. Maybe I can rotate it a bit. Ah! Yeah, let's just flip him horizontally here. Hey, what's up, Mikey? How you doing? Oh, but then you can't see him on the edge, on the vertical stream. About move him just a little bit more. There we go. Now he's hanging on to my drawing thing. Our little buddy Bulbasaur. He's a dinosaur. His name is Bulbasaur. Okay, now we got it. We're doing it from a different angle here, so we can kind of see the proportions a little differently. He's almost got like a lemon head. So it's like a lemon. It's almost like a weeping bell or whatever. If you really think about it, like we could turn his head into a different Pokemon if we wanted. And then, we're gonna run out of room here. Let's just make ourselves some extra room here. It's just... Yeah, so basically from here... And then... From here... Well, now we're gonna run out of room down here. Whatever, we'll draw it outside of the thumbnail. It's not really important too much right now. Right meow. Right meow. Yeah, we're way out of proportion here. Let's... Yeah, that head... Definitely give me Harambe vibes, dude. This is like Bulbasaur. Look at those fucking shoulders, bro. Jesus Christ. We got Harambasaur. Jesus fucking Christ, that's a buff Bulbasaur. Like a buff hamster in Family Guy. You should tattoo? Probably not. Yeah, it kind of looks different when you flip it horizontally. I think it's like his eyes look so far apart without the little spots here. Like it kind of splits his face across a little bit more because his eyes are so far apart. Yeah, we're really out of proportion with this one. To be fair, we did flip it horizontally, so it changes the entire proportions. But that's what we need to do to improve. Draw it in different angles and such. Yeah, this is like way out of proportion. This one is like cracked out Bulbasaur. Yeah. Well, you can tell he's Bulbasaur at least. Imagine asking for a tattoo and this is what you got. No refunds. And it's just me and Serby over here. I try not to look at how many viewers I have or members of chat. It's just like sometimes you get curious, but you know, like I hope you're enjoying the stream. I'm trying to create a chill vibe. I'm trying to give myself accountability. Like drawing is really hard to show up to consistently, even though it's like technically the easiest thing you could do because it's literally just putting a pencil to paper And then sometimes you set yourself like little limits, like draw Bulbasaur. And it's like, it's not that I'm like trying, I think like the idea of drawing, it's not necessarily about being talented. It's about creating limits. And like you're allowing your hand to do marks on the page, but you're limiting like, okay, well, I need to make a cone here. I need to do it at this angle. And you just try to do it. And that's kind of what we've been doing with these attempts. You like my little pencil holder thing? It's a kitty cat. Three people are watching? Yeah, I try not to think about it because I don't think of my stream as how many people are watching, how many, like, that's not really like something I like to think about during the stream, especially like, yeah, it's nice to see more people here because it means that more people are you know, more people are out there, you know, it's more lively, there's more interaction, and it's also a sign that like, hey, what I'm doing resonates with people. That's it's hard to tell in the exact like moment to moment. I generally wait to look at analytics until later. Like I look at it when I'm done streaming, and I look at the analytics for like my YouTube shorts and all those kind of things. I think like my success condition isn't whether or not I got X number of viewers. My success condition is, did I show up and did I make some clips? Did I upload those clips to YouTube Shorts? And now I'm starting to actually do that, and I have stuff scheduled now. So even if I don't stream, I still have content coming out. I'm starting to get a better workflow now. Whether I'm effective, that's not really what I'm focused on right now, because I can't be effective if I'm not consistent. I don't want to, you know, I'd rather have something that's consistent, because that's something I can work with. That's like, okay, well, how do I deliver things better? How do I make better content? How do I make better jokes? How do I be more entertaining? Like, those things can't really exist if I'm not showing up in the first place. And so, just like with drawing, like today, I didn't have to draw Bulbasaur, but I said, you know what? I keep making excuses, like, let's do it. I think maybe I can just split them into, like, 3 circles. So there's the first one in his head in the foreground. And then there's kind of another one as part of his body. And then there's like a smaller one as part of his body. And then there's a cone. There's some cylinders. The head's a little too small in this one. The head's way too small in this one. He has a much bigger head. Charmander? Yeah. You're drawing 2? Well, that's good. I like that. I like that, like, when I'm streaming, it kind of helps people want to do something better with themselves as well. Like, that's kind of what I'm doing. Even when I'm, like, playing World of Warcraft, I focus on what I'm doing, and I try to just, not obviously, just having a good space where it's like we're just chilling and stuff like that. But also, I try to do better. I try to be a better warrior. I try to tank better. And it's just like giving a space where you can focus on improvement on something. And that, honestly, I feel like creating a space like that is really like what streaming can be. It can be really powerful. And it's not that I'm taking credit for it, because the fact that you're drawing right now, you did that. I didn't do that. I just created a space where I'm drawing, and you said, you know what? I could be drawing. And like that's how streaming has been for me too. Whenever I used to like spend more time in people's streams, and it kind of made me want to do better. And I need to like also accept how rare that is. Not everybody does that. A lot of people just kind of waste their lives. They kind of just waste time, which is fine. Sometimes you just need to get through the, escape is completely valid, but I don't think people treat like content the same way I do. Like when I used to hang out in people's Twitch chats, and it was because I was trying to learn like how to be better. And I think like I was also there. We don't need to get into it. There's some delusional things as well, but basically I was trying to network, and that's not good. That's pretty cringe. But I was like, hey, I need to get my name out there. And that's pretty cringe. And I stopped doing that because it's really rude to other content creators. And I really apologize if they're even remotely, if they ever hear me say this, all the people that are in the different Twitch chats that I've been in, if they ever hear this, I'm really sorry. Like, I was trying to figure out how to be a content creator, and I was trying to get my name out there, and I used your chat as like a personal, as like a personal platform, and that's not fair to the content creators. Some of those content creators have been canceled, so I'm still, at the time I didn't know that, so it's like, nobody did. So I mean, I think like at the time, I was behaving really inappropriately. I was going into people's discords and taking, trying to be the center of attention, being obnoxious, and it's not fair to other content creators. It's, I'm trying to do my own thing, and I think things are healing now, because I'm trying to just do my own thing and create my own community, and not try to push myself into other people's platforms. So I don't know if these people are ever going to hear me say that, but I really hope they probably understand. I don't know. Like, hey, it's tough to be a content creator, and I was pretty delusional, and I was very like hungry to get some kind of recognition, and unfortunately I did so in a way that was going into people's chats and trying to be like, look at me, and it's like, I don't know, I got, some, we don't really have to go into the specifics, because there's some drunken evenings in Discord that we don't really need to talk about, but using voice chat to chat with people, but then getting like upset and stuff. I got banned from a few different Discords for just, I if I could do it differently now, I would. I probably, actually, that's why I'm not on Discords anymore. Not really. I don't know. I think maybe I should also give myself a break. I wasn't being that toxic. There's people who were being way more toxic than me who weren't getting banned. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just, I hold myself up to such a high standard. I think that's why I feel so bad about it. I think most people have like, wait, who the fuck are you? Like, like Rebecca? Oh yeah, I heard your name. The mods were talking about you or something. Like I thought you were just a nobody. Oh, you are? Okay. Charmander is easy to level up? Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I always thought Bulbasaur was the best at the beginning. That's why I picked Bulbasaur right now. Yeah, Pikachu you could find actually in the starter area, like in like what is it? Viridian Forest or whatever. The allure of having a Discord, being able to engage with you off stream, play WoW with community. Yeah, it's a moot point. Trolls are horrid, and I'm not big enough to really. I don't really feel like that's important to me. Especially right now, we're still building a community. We kind of have just a bunch of random people who show up, and right now, I don't think it's really. I think it's too hard to, it's too tempting to try to crystallize something before, like, let's just let things happen organically. You know, like, if we can't just hang out on stream, you know, how could we hang out on Discord? So it's like, I don't like this idea of artificially creating a community. I feel like communities should just kind of happen, like, organically. Yeah, in the grass area in the Viridian Forest. Yeah, you can spend like an hour trying to get him or more. Magikarp? Oh, hell yeah. Get Magikarp to level 20. Well, there was no daycare in the original one. You just had to like grind him out by like, you know, switching him. Like you would do Magikarp and then you'd have to get half XP because you would have to like swap out Magikarp for something. Yeah, Charmander's great in the early game, but then you kind of have a little bit of a difficulty once you get to the first gym. With Bulbasaur, you have a bit of a hard time in the grassy area, but what you can get is you can get like bird type, like you get a Pidgey. And then Pidgey can take out everything in the bug area. Like Pidgey and Rattata. And then basically, you know, I tried to level everything up equally. Like I would level up to level 10 on every Pokemon, and then I would go to level 11 on each, and then I would go to level 12. I would just swap them out and level them that way. Okay, I think let's do one more. I'm focusing way too much on this. I think one more gesture here. I think just like one more gesture. Yeah, basically. Yeah, I mean, basically, there he is. There's Bulbasaur. For better or for worse. And for better or for worse, there's Bulbasaur. Strawberry out of 10? You like the Type Rock? Yeah, this is the best one. And you had some other versions. Yeah, that first one was weird. Yeah, I don't know. I think this one is probably the best one. One in the top right. Well, you don't like strawberry? I do like strawberry. Meow meow. Yeah, well, we'll see how we do this again another time. I feel like it's a good. This is our baseline. Do. This is where we're starting out. Next time I do Bulbasaur, like let's try maybe once a week. Like every Monday we should try doing. We should have Bulbasaur Monday. Where we try to draw as many Bulbasaurs as we can and see where I'm at, see how much I've improved. Or here, actually, I think we could even change this up. Let me just let me cook. Let me cook for a second. Let me cook. Okay, now, there we go. There we go. Yeah, Bulbasaur Monday. Uh. It's the same drawing, right? Here, let's compare this one versus this one. It's the same exact drawing, right? Uh. Zero difference. Yeah. Okay, now let's just kind of play around. Let's try our self-worth again. Yeah, we had some capsules. Yeah, it's fun to just like kind of freely draw and have some fun. This is what I mostly do. This is my success condition. We have already met it. We even did some gesture with Bulbasaur. And trying to draw from reference like that. I think we made some good progress today's stream already. But I think just like learning how to play, and just solidifying that it's okay to not be good at something. It's okay. Like that's how you get better. Like you got to start somewhere, and you got to just keep drawing. When will you be on Twitch too? I am on Twitch. We're multi-streaming. Yeah, over time, if I do enough gesture drawing from references, I think I'll get a lot better at understanding like proportions and all those kind of things. So I'm just gonna like not rush it. You're not gonna be perfect right away, you know, as we saw with my Bulbasaur gestures. So I think just over time, just keep drawing as many different like gesture drawing as possible. I found some Pinterests with some good, there was an artist on YouTube who shared his Pinterest, and he also made like a drawingtimer.com, and you can load up Pinterest album galleries, and basically it loads them for a minute at a time, so that you can do like 1 minute gestures, or like, you know, maybe you can do 2 passes where one is 30 seconds and then the next one is like you spend like 3 minutes on it to, like, you know, give the finer details. And basically it's just gesture drawing trains you how to look at things for what they are and trying to translate them onto the page. And I need to do that like at least a few minutes a day. Just getting pictures on Pinterest, like like photos of people, so I can, like, you know, people doing different modeling poses or ballet poses, or, you know, so I can learn anatomy, like male and female anatomy. There's a lot of stuff out there, and I just need to do that. Most of that's going to be in private, especially like the anatomy, like they're kind of like not very fully clothed, and I can't really load that on stream, but they're not like naked, but they're like not wearing, you could see bulges, you know, breasts and other things, kind of bulging out. You can see like nipple outlines. Like we can't load those on stream, so definitely can't load the thing I'm doing for work, which is completely nude modeling in an academic setting. I you know what's interesting is, like, it's not a problem at all for me. Like, it feels just really normal. Like, it doesn't feel sexual or anything. It feels like I'm wearing clothes, because it's like it's an appropriate setting, you know. It's an academic setting. It's a place where people are trying to become better artists. They're very mature. They're, you know, like, there's no weird issues. It's an appropriate context. You know, it's like they're trying to learn form. They're doing gesture drawings and stuff like that. They're trying to learn human anatomy. They're learning specifically like my kind of anatomy. I don't know. I feel like even though I am trans feminine post-op, I feel like I'm not like stereotypically like trans feminine. I feel like I'm just kind of androgynous feminine. Like, I don't really know. I don't think even people like see me as trans. Like, they see a female body, and honestly, it's not like it's a secret or anything. It's just like I don't really think that like it particularly matters. I mean, everybody has different bodies, and they're learning how to draw my body, and they'll learn something from it, hopefully. Apparently I'm doing a really good job with it. What am I drawing? I am drawing just random, just letting my hand do the talking. You know, like we already did some gesture drawing. I tried to draw Bulbasaur. So we did some gesture from reference earlier, and it wasn't so great, I don't think, but we tried, and that was our success condition, that we just attempted it, and we drew them to completion. This was the original version of this exploration exercise. So, you know, I'm basically just exploring what the page is going to look like using just my instinct. I'm trying to train my ability to trust myself and to feel fluency of the movement, and like how the pencil works. There's a lot of stuff that I'm picking up on subconsciously just by putting pencil to the page. And even though I'm not really training any, like, gesture drawing trains a different skill. Gesture drawing trains my eye to like my hands to match my eyeball. So like when you look at something from a reference, either in person or from a photo, you're training your hand to try to match it, and that you know, to get the right proportions, like to get stuff like that. And when you're drawing from imagination or from memory, that's training a completely different muscle. And so like I'm trying to get fluency with just showing up. Because that's the hardest part for me. I show up like really hard for like a few weeks when I try to do something again, like something like learning art, like doing drawing. Um, I've had trouble in the past because I would just show up and I would try really hard, but then I would burn out. And so my new goal now is to solidify this skill. Maybe not in ability, like not, like I'm not going to be some kind of great, expert level professional artist. Yeah, hand and eye and hand coordination. But like basically I'm trying to learn how to show up without drama, like showing up without there being some kind of like big, attempt. Like I shouldn't have to put in a ton of energy just to show up. So it's like, this is like such a low barrier of entry. There's literally no wrong way to do what I'm doing right now. It's literally just putting pencil to paper and making marks as they show up in my imagination, and just letting it happen. And there's no judgment. There's no requirements. It's literally just learning how my hand works, learning how the tool works, the pencil or the pen or the brush or whatever tool I'm using. Try to think in three-dimensional space and how I can move objects around. But I'm working from imagination, and so there are no rules really. And my success condition isn't did I draw a pretty picture. My success condition is did I show up to put pencil to paper or pen to paper or brush to canvas or whatever. Did I show up? That's my success condition. And the answer is yes. We've been drawing for 2 hours. So that's a huge success. That's why I like streaming while I'm drawing. That's why I like these new streams. I feel like this is going to become a regular thing. Now, we're not giving up on World of Warcraft. I don't want to, make people think that I don't want people to think that I'm not going to play World of Warcraft anymore. We definitely will. But I would like to spend some days where we're just drawing. And I do draw off stream. So I'm not, but I don't really play World of Warcraft off stream for the time being. There'll probably be a time where it becomes more like relaxed and I won't stream. It's like, I don't know. We'll figure it out. It's just not the end of the world. It's just, I think it's important to play World of Warcraft. But I also think it's important to draw. Because I feel like right now what I need, since I don't really have any, I've talked about this before. There might be people who haven't heard this before. Like I'm basically going through a process where it's a bureaucratic process with an agency that is looking for a new living situation for me. So I can have a healthier living situation. So I can be more likely to succeed. And I have support. However, it is a bureaucratic process that can take forever. Like it's glacial. It's absolutely glacial, but they have helped people in the past. And it might take a while, but when it does work, it's going to stick. That's what's giving me hope, because I know it's going to work. It just might take a while. And so right now, because I'm so like, what's the word? I'm agentrically focused. Like that's not a word, but I'm very deliberately focused on having agency by taking action, by doing something to improve my situation. And this thing, no matter how hard I try, no matter how much effort I put in, nothing will make this happen sooner. No amount of working harder is going to make the living situation happen sooner. It's literally not up to me. It's these agencies have their hands tied with a bureaucratic system that's not perfect. It's very imperfect. I need a lot of help, and yet it's taking forever to get that help. And meanwhile, I am suffering harm to my mental health and to my actual health. Like I'm living in a situation with mold. It's damaging my my mental state. But I'm holding on. And so drawing is something where I have immediate results, where my effort creates something, where it's using hand-eye coordination, and it's a somatic response. It's a physical response in my body. It's not necessarily whether or not I get good at drawing. It's that doing this gives me agency in something. It's a very isolated, focused activity that not only regulates my emotions, but it gives me a kind of psychological completion of I did something that resulted in something happening, which is I put pencil to paper and it put marks on the page, and that made something. And I did it on stream, so that's another level of agency. I created content potentially. Or I guess from a completely technical, literal standpoint, I created content. Now you could, the judgment about it, whether or not something's good, that's not really what I'm focused on here. I'm focused on, did I show up and did I do something and did it matter? And the answer to that is yes. I showed up and my actions resulted in something existing where it didn't exist before. For better or for worse. But that's not, like, my success condition is, did I show up and do something? And I might get better at drawing. I mean, I am trying to. I'm trying to practice over time. And I'm trying to divorce myself from the need to be perfect. Like, I feel like if I can just, it's like a superpower, like not caring. And ironically, you end up getting insanely good results over time. I already feel like I'm doing better than I was like a week ago. As far as like my drawing skill goes, but honestly, I don't really care too much about that. I just want to have something to do, that I have control over. And it gives me emotional regulation, and it gives me agency where I don't really have much agency in my life. And so, like, it's actually like the perfect activity to do at this exact moment in the process of trying to get these resources, the housing resources. This is like the best thing I could possibly be doing, is just putting pencil to paper. Even if, like, yeah, like we even though we did succeed pretty well, like we did gesture drawing. That's something new. Like, I wasn't doing that before these past couple of weeks. I only started drawing again, I think, like 2 weeks ago. Maybe even less. I got really into it all of a sudden. And this time I want it to stick. I don't want to just do this for a few weeks and then never do it again. I don't want to go through that pattern again. I want to break that pattern. I want to actually stick with it and keep going. Instead of just like, oh, you know, I got really into it, but then I kind of fell off of it because it got hard. Like, I don't want to do that this time. I want to do something that's like, you know, why not stick with it? Let's see where it goes. You know, like, let's see where drawing can take me. Emotionally and spiritually, and just literally just having something to do that isn't stressing out over things I can't change. Because, you know, putting all my energy into, you know, I need to make the agencies move faster. It's not going to work. They're not going to move faster. Nothing I can do to change my situation. It's literally, like, it's not in my hands anymore. I already did all the work. I got all these agencies. I connected to all of them. I got connected. And so now they're doing their job, and I just need to let it happen. And that's hard when you're somebody who wants to take action. When you're somebody who doesn't like sitting still. When you're somebody who says, what can I do to make this better? Honestly, the best thing I could be doing right now is exactly what I'm doing. Just maintaining. Keeping myself sane. Controlling something I can control. Like that's something I can do. And it's really hard to accept that, because I want to be able to change my situation. I feel like a failure because I feel like I'm relying on an agency to do it for me instead of doing it myself. But trying harder is not going to make it happen. I need to accept that and just like let them do their work. Yeah. Anyway, we have been live for 2 hours. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say I think we're done for today. I'm probably gonna draw later, on my own off stream, but I definitely will. But I drew for 2 hours today. I drew for 2 hours today, and I did gesture drawing, so I drew from a reference. Like I did something. Yay me! I did something today instead of just nothing. Anyway, thank you to everyone for joining today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending time with me while I'm drawing. While I'm doing drawing really badly, but my success condition is met. Even doing like my minimum condition is like 20 minutes, and actually like I think even less than that. My minimum success condition is like 5 minutes. Did I draw for 5 minutes today? Yes, I drew for 2 hours today. So I'm probably going to draw even more later. I like to draw in bed. I have like a I have like a nice, like, collapsible, like bed desk. Like, basically, it can even, like, first of all, it, like, extends and, like, and like does this thing where it like angles. It angles. Yeah, it angles. It angles. Okay, and then it's like I'm like, you know, drawing in bed and stuff like that. Got a light. It's like I can draw just hanging out in bed, nice and relaxed. Like it's really nice. It's got, yeah, and you can change the angle and everything. Yeah, so like I like drawing in bed. I think it's really important that I draw off stream and not just on stream, because I feel like it's more personal. It's angling, all right. Yeah, it does angling things. It does angling things. Yeah. Yeah, and it just collapses like this. It's also got like a book holder that like clips in there. It's also got like a side little thing, and I put like an eraser in there, so like one of these kneaded erasers. I got like a 4-pack of those or whatever. And I can just like tuck away like that. Anyway, thanks everybody for being here. Hey Himba, what's up? Good looking. Yeah, we drew for 2 hours today. And it's also an angle grinder. I don't know about that. Thanks everybody for being here, and see ya, Space Cowboy. See ya, Space Cowboy.